We are officially live, and we're going to talk about how the crypto markets are being manipulated, because where the heck is altcoin season? And yes, this is a topic we talk about all the time. Why? Because that's all anybody cares about. Everybody is literally here to make as much money as ethically and legally as possible. So I've been really tired this week, okay? And I talked about Greg from Hedera being over at the Wyoming summit thing with all the TradFi people. I think that they only invite, it's like a Kraken thing. Well, Kraken was one of the sponsors, I believe. Don't come for me, okay? But basically, I kind of forgot that this was going on. We covered it, but I forgot about it. And now I'm putting two and two together. And it makes total sense that in actuality, that the markets are really just kind of waiting for some sort of announcement. Where are interest rates going to go? What's going to happen with the stock market? Are we going to lower interest rates to 1% like the president is talking about? Is Powell going to get fired? Is Janet Yellen going to replace him? Like, there's just so many unknowns. And now we have to really think about traditional finance, because traditional finance is coming into crypto. Well, we've been here, okay? And the thing with that is that traditional finance is here. So our markets are starting to mimic TradFi. And you can say whatever you guys want about traditional finance and the SEC and the way that they do things. To me, it's all manipulated. It really, really is. When we talk about the stock market, is a bunch of companies that are valued at a certain amount. Where are these valuations coming from? They're literally pulling them out of their behind, okay? That's just my personal opinion. But we have all these companies that pay a lot of money to do the and that type of stuff, and then we get they make certain deals, all that type of stuff, and then retail investors are completely removed. We're not allowed to participate in IPOs and all of these different things. So this sector of traditional finance is only really for the rich and the elite. And again, it's not a bad thing to be a rich person, any way, shape, or form. What the problem is the wealth gap. The problem is the segregation. The problem is not everyone having equal access to the level playing field, which they should. And that's where crypto comes in. TradFi and the bank said, nope, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. We are going to, we need laws and regulations. We need to protect retail because you guys are too poor and stupid. Okay? That's what's going on. And that's problematic. We don't like that. So let's go ahead and talk about what's happening, what some of the theories are, and the current updated news we have regarding the summit. Because again, this is regarding financial policy. So it's going to be a pretty short show today. There's not a lot to go on, and all that type of stuff. But, at 6 p.m. PT, I post a video for you, a YouTube short that gives you every single top piece of crypto news that's happened. So you guys should always go watch those, okay? Now, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with the market. Well, actually, let's look in the news first. Let's look in the news first. Actually, before we do that, I need to give a shout out to all of the supporters over here. Good morning to Dale, to Mr. R, to Mr. D, to Lawrence, and to Alpha Moves. And yes, I love Link. Link is one of those projects I want to accumulate as much as I can. That is not financial advice. And again, I am really focusing on the stuff that has real world utility that traditional finance is adopting. Ondo, Chainlink, Hedera, Avalanche, Ethereum, Solana, those types of things. Jackson Hole is Friday. We will see. So right now the market's kind of looking cute. But I really want to give a big shout out to my good friend, Mr. Dan, Crypto Recruiter, because he put out this really awesome thread. And I really appreciate it because he did the work for me. So shout out to Dan. Dan is also he's also part of the dog community, which we absolutely love. But I just kind of want to read the key points of his little summary over here. The reason why is because I definitely agree. Powell's to speak at Jackson Hole on Friday. We should get a clear direction of the markets once that happens. Plus, are we going to cut interest rates or not? The whole point of Powell speaking is he's going to be talking about interest rates, and the whole United States of America is waiting on that. In addition to that, on a global scale, the entire world is waiting on it because everybody likes to follow what the U.S. is doing. And we're in this really volatile time because we have tariffs, we have economic uncertainty, yada, yada, yada. So Dan says, expected to signal rate cuts if economic data stays weak. Our economic data is weak, okay? Very, 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 very much weak. We do need to lower interest rates. I know a lot of TradFi people are not agreeing with me. They're arguing with me about it because they're like, it's bad economically long-term. Guess what? Is today Tube Top Tuesday? No, yesterday was Tube Top Tuesday. Don't you confuse me over here, mister. Anyways, we've been in a recession. The job reports, the GDP, all of the, well, I don't know about the GDP, but the job reports and inflation and all that stuff, it's all manipulated. And any person with half a brain can literally go outside, go to their community and see who's working and who isn't. Heck, go to the hood, see how they're doing over there. That's my opinion. I also lived through the 2008 housing crash and recession, so I know. And I also grew up in a household raised by my mother, of course, but my grandma and my great aunt, who they came to America from Sicily a couple of years before the Great Depression. So I heard all kinds of stories. I've got a little bit of a different take over here. So basically, it could hint at a 25 BPS cut without stating it directly. Jackson Hole 2023 speech sparked 15% Bitcoin rally and ended an altcoin bear market. This is very much speculation. So I don't necessarily agree with Dan super much here. Just because 2023 to 2025 is completely different. We've got a brand new president, a pro crypto president. But one thing I will say is really in order for altcoins to kick off, we need to see these spot ETFs approved, which we're going to get to that in a little bit. A dovish tone could trigger 10 to 20% crypto rally. And if focus stays on inflation, expect a market shakeout. So I agree and I disagree. But the most important thing I agree with here is that we are going to see what's going to happen with the markets on Friday because Powell is going to talk. Okay. Now, in addition to that, there's a couple other things I want to get into, and I'm going to cover all the altcoin news later. Why? Because I want to. We also got Rule Poll. I cannot say his name correct. Oh, darn it. Anyways, he basically says, let me go and pull this up over here. Sorry, guys, I'm tired. I've been tired, though. He says, I think that the entire DAT thing is going to come down to who has a bear market strategy to mitigate severe discount at MNAV, who doesn't. But when he's talking about a DAT, he's talking about digital asset treasury firms. And the reason why this is important is because we do talk heavily about, hey there, Goomba. Hey. If you're down 55% on SHIB, what would I do? I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Hold on, I'll talk about treasury strategy in a little bit. I came from your TikTok. I need your advice on what do I do? I bought SHIB long ago and I'm down 55%. Should I sell and put it into something else or just hold? That's a personal choice. There's a couple things you could do. Number one, you can sell it. You can talk to your tax guy because you need to talk to your tax guy. Number one, you can sell at a loss and put it into something you think will appreciate in price better. Number one. Number two, you can hold on to it and you can see if it's going to go back up or not. Those are the two things that you can do. You can either hold or you can take a loss, talk to your CPA, see if that is a taxable event, a write-off, and then put it into something else. Now, what Rawls talking about, don't buy anything. Buy what works for you. Just as long as you know, diamond. These are two different strategies, and they're not financial advice. You got to do what's right for you and your family. But always talk to your CPA. That's why it's good to have a good CPA. But Mr. Raul Paul, right over here, he's talking about digital asset treasury firms, and so that's going to be a new term we're talking about. But basically, there is a speculation that the digital asset treasury firms like MicroStrategy and SBET and all those others are going to cause a black swan event, and we're going to go in a bear market. Okay. In addition to that, MicroStrategy stock is not doing super great right now. Strategy tumbles to 4-month low as crypto stocks and digital asset treasuries sink. Galaxy, Sharplink, Bitmine were among the names that plunged nearly 10%. A risk appetite faded and Bitcoin sunk to $113,000. Okay. That's also something that's going on. So could these treasury strategies bring in a bear market? 100%. 100% if they're not managed properly. And it really depends who these treasury strategies have helping them manage their risk. There's a lot that goes into these. Like when I sat down with the company that I went and I announced that their treasury strategy, there's a lot that goes into it. And there's a way to mitigate a lot of risk, but you're going to have to move a little bit more conservatively, which makes things a little bit hectic, right? If you have a question, go to YouTube, as I can see it easier over there, sweetheart. So yeah, I do think that the treasury strategy, some of them will implode and we will get a bear market with that. It'll be a black swan event, but I don't know yet. I think that we're just going to have a massive shakeout. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's not a bad thing because I can hold Bitcoin. I can hold my alts. I have practiced risk management and I'm not planning on selling any of my Bitcoin. My Ethereum, yeah, and I had some people, Wendy, why didn't you take profit at like $4,800 Ethereum? Because I think we're going to go higher. That's why. Oh, Gamer got some fresh pineapples. I need something. I don't know what I need. All right. Hold on. There's a couple things. Oh, I want to talk about this too. Remember how everybody said bad things about Binance all the time? Well, Binance has really led the game when it comes to crypto crime and stopping and freezing funds. So Richard Tang, the CEO of Binance, says, proud to announce we're a founding member of the Beacon Network. This real-time crypto crime response network developed by TRM Labs in partnership with industry leaders is crucial for preventing illicit funds from leaving the blockchain. We stand firm in our mission to secure the ecosystem. So basically all this is, if there's something bad that's happening, they're going to freeze the funds, which is absolutely wonderful. And Binance has really kind of led the charge on this, in my personal opinion. So that's sad. I also wanted to comment on a couple things. Where the hee-haw is it? Cointelegraph. In regards to the crypto spot ETFs, this is from Nate. I like Nate a lot. He said, spot crypto ETF floodgates appear to set and open in the next 2 months. XRP, Sol, Litecoin, etc. HBAR too. Don't forget HBAR. The dark horse. Full regulatory framework should be in place for spot ETFs. Spot Ethereum ETFs taking approval any day now. Clarity Act in Senate. Remainder of the year should be wild. And I agree with him. And this is what makes me bullish for the future. The reason why I'm bullish for the future is the crypto spot ETFs. Like, even though we're going to get an announcement from Powell about which potential way we might see interest rates go. I am incredibly bullish long-term because of the crypto spot ETFs. And I really, really think that's what's going to bring in like an altcoin season. So are things being manipulated? A lot of people like to say the SEC is manipulating things. I don't necessarily think so. I just think they're trying to do their job. I might be naive though. I might be naive because I'm just an idiot on the internet. But I don't think the SEC is inherently trying to manipulate the market. I think that, like I've talked about, I think that they're really trying hard to do the right thing and to do things professionally and not rush into it. And Hester Peirce likes to take her time. So there's that. But as far as the government and the traditional finance, oh, heck yeah, they're trying to manipulate. That's what they do. They do it with the stock market all the time. Now, at the little event over here, today we had Stuart Aldroy that was set to speak at the Salt Wyoming Blockchain Conference, and this is from my buddies over at Wolf of Wall Street, from Mr. Scott. But it's good that we have Stuart Aldroy there. He's a CLO of Ripple, so we've got some big heavy hitters, some pretty big heavy hitters over there, which is good. That are talking on behalf and allowing crypto to be heard. So basically, he spoke on a panel and he said the Genius Act is the first step toward the Trump administration making the U.S. the crypto capital of the world, and that clarity is needed, and that goes along with Nate Garossi said. He also said we need responsible regulation and laws. I agree. We should not overcomplicate things. It's already a complicated industry. I agree. Clarity Act is an insanely big lift for the industry. I agree, but at the same time, I want to make sure it's done the right way. And I also have a demand, Mr. Stewart. I want to see retail be allowed. Really do. I know it'll never happen. And I keep screaming about it on social media, but I really want the Clarity Act to be pushed through the proper way, which is going to take time. He also said we're dangerously at the precipice at losing the opportunity for this tech not to grow in the U.S. And I agree with him. If we get market structure right, we win and innovation will boom in the U.S. Some more clips from the summit, because these are all important. This is from Mr. Paul Atkins. We absolutely love him. He is a pro crypto Gary Gensler, but a little bit easier on the eyes. So basically, the thread over here, he discussed Project Crypto and revitalizing IPO markets, emphasized new direction at the SEC under current leadership. He said that Trump's working group on digital asset markets released clear recommendations for the SEC, and they're setting out to implement them ASAP, which is good. And this is the good thing about this president. He says, we're going to make America the crypto capital of the world. I'm going to sign these executive orders, and then he delegates to the proper entities. And that's exactly what's happening. That's what a good leader does. Is he a good leader in everything he does? No. But at the end of the day, he's doing crypto right here. Goal is to make America the crypto leader and committed to future-proofing crypto markets against regulatory overreach. Also plans to collaborate with Congress and federal agencies to implement reforms. Also, there's some stuff about banks that are going on in crypto, and this is important. I know this is a boring show today, but pay attention to this, okay? So, crypto comments from the Fed governor on banks, regulators, and crypto. Change is coming. He said it's essential that banks and regulators are open to engaging in new technologies and departing from overly cautious mindset. I'm going to comment on this very, very easily. Thank you so much, Dark Angel, for the $20 super chat. No, I'm not going to be your XRP general. I greatly appreciate you offering that position to me. I am not loyal to any chain. I show my loyalty to community. I appreciate the support and the respect and the interaction that the XRP army gives to me. I also appreciate any community that comes and hangs out with me. But I am a profit maximalist. I make money legally and ethically. And with that being said, I am happy to support the XRP army, the Bitcoin maxis, the HBARians, the Link Marines, and whomever else. And I want you guys to win as much as you can. And we don't do wet t-shirts Wednesdays. No, we don't do that. This is a family show, honey. And also I've got a little 9-year-old. She does not need to see mommy on the internet being a mess. There's enough of that going on. She needs a good role model. And I do my best to do that, even though I'm a little bit crazy. That's okay, though. It's okay to be crazy. Men like crazy women. If you can cook, you can be a little bit crazy. I make a wonderful steak. Twerking Tuesdays? No, but this is a booty shaking household, and this is how we booty shake. I can do this for you. This is how we booty shake in this household. That's about all you guys will see. That's my little dancey dance. But that's all we do. We do lots of booty shaking because it's okay to dance. But we don't do twerking. No. I do like to make money. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to Sparkwater. I do my best to be as conservative as possible. I'm financially conservative, socially down the middle, just as long as you leave our babies alone. And yeah, I'm covered in tattoos. Who cares? All right, back to the news. Is Lo all about Labubu? My Lo is, yep. She is. She's got 3 and she won't share with me. Terrible business. All right, let's get back into the banks, okay? All right, so this is about the Fed. Change is coming. So basically the reason why the banks campaign, again, the banks also paid Brad Sherman from California. He's a demon. To lobby against crypto. The banks are scared because it's going to impact their bottom line. Anytime you impact somebody's bottom line, it can get problematic over here. But now the Fed's like, nope, we got a pro-crypto president. We need to make some changes. We need to adopt this technology. And this is why they passed the Genius Act first and not the Clarity Act, which is completely in reverse. Clarity Act and then Genius Act, but I digress. I'll take what I can get. But from this post over here, Fed Governor Bowman spoke at the SALT conference. He said change is coming in regulatory approach towards crypto. Banks and regulators must be open to new tech, and they must move beyond overly cautious mindsets. Fed will no longer consider reputational risk and supervision to avoid discouraging banks from serving crypto businesses, and they shouldn't. Really, when you think about it, remember when we had the bank? Remember when we had the banking collapse that happened, and Warren blamed it on crypto? No. The banking collapse was due to poor financial decisions by the banks. Because in America, you're required to deposit your money in a bank. Then the bank takes your money and then does all these things that they're going to do. These investments, don't ask you, pay you this much interest. And they make bad investments. I think we're at $500 billion in unrealized losses with the banks. Could crypto companies attributed to that a little bit? Teeny tiny bit, but not as much as they said it was. And also, too, crypto exchanges are required to hold reserves. Banks are not. 0%. Okay? So there's that. In addition, he also said regulatory certainty is critical to encourage investment and collaborations between banks and crypto firms. Collaboration between regulators and industry is needed. Yes, we know. Novel supervision of crypto will be reignited into standard reserve bank examination terms. Hi, honey. Did you finish your chores? Okay, that's wonderful. You're wonderful. You're 10-10. So why don't you go take care of your stuff so we go do fun stuff? Okay, love you, baby.
I love you. And thank you guys for supporting my mother. She is a very good mom to me.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love you, and mommy's so proud of you. Okay, let's go handle our business, okay?
I love you too, and I cannot wait to cuddle with you today.
I know. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so we got the Fed wanting to work with banks, which is good. We need the collaboration, even though the banks are evil. In addition to that, Mark Cuban kind of responded to Paul Atkins, and it's kind of funny because you can see how pressed he is. Is every IPO going to be treated like a meme coin from now on? And this was my response. Okay, this is my response to him. Oh, this is a real thing. I found him on TikTok. Real thing. Where did it go? I said, if you think about it, IPOs or ICOs for wealthy people in the accredited investor law is predatory. People don't like a level playing field. I do, higher. So I'm kind of clapping back at Mark Cuban. I don't got anything against him at all. My issue, though, is that everybody should be able to invest in IPOs, okay? Everybody should be able to invest. We shouldn't have any restrictions on people. Thank you so much, Chester Lester. I appreciate for the $5 super chat. We got $25 so far on YouTube. So that means Lowe's going to get a pretzel at the mall. She's definitely going to get a pretzel at the mall today. We might be going to the mall. We don't know yet. We got our classes and stuff and different things we got to do. But thank you for the little thingy. But she's going to get a sweet treat. We're not doing Baja Blast this week. Baja Blast is when we go to Chili's. We generally go once a week, like for a treat and stuff like that. But we'll probably do Taco Bell instead because that's what mommy's craving. Gamer said, interesting to see the Solana treasury companies performing better than a lot of the other stocks today. Interesting. Follow Gamer for stock advice. Well, not stock advice, but different things. Yes, their mall's still open, honey. All right. Back to this story, though. But again, rich people are panicking over the accredited investor thing. And you know what? People want to take a basic literacy test and do whatever they want to do with their money. Good, fine, fantastic. I'm tired of the restrictions. All right. Also, Franklin Templeton, digital assets are going mainstream. We know this. The banks are going to be incorporating. That's all whatever. Mr. Trump says that can somebody please inform Powell before it's too late that he is hurting the housing industry very badly. Rate cuts. It's not only the housing industry, but it's also literally everything. It's literally everything. But I know this is a cuckoo show today. I'm just kind of like all over the place because the market is so slow and it's really like we're kind of just waiting for Powell to come out and talk. But moral of the story is I'm not going to cover all the altcoins because there's no need to. But if you guys want to trade with me, I am on Kraken and I am on Femex. The link are down below. But Bitcoin, if we just kind of zoom out and see what's happening, we almost kissed the bottom of $111,000, but we have support at about 113,000. There's the guns. Woo. And that's fine. So we'll see what ends up happening with altcoins in the future. But realistically, you guys, it's a slow news day. Markets are 100% being manipulated by traditional finance and public servants because that's what they do. And we're just kind of waiting on what Powell's going to say. We are. But other than that, you heard Nate Garassi, he's the ETF analyst. He said that these crypto spot ETFs are going to get approved. The staking ETF is going to get approved, and it's all about patience. So you need to showcase patience. Hi, Miss Sweet Treat over there. My bestie. Anyways, you guys, I got to get going. I got to do a couple other media pieces, and me and the girl, we got stuff to do. Because we're just girls, so we're gonna go to the mall. Maybe we're gonna get some pretzels, do a little shopping, do a little window shopping, get some steps in, and cuddle. Sending you guys love and light, and I'm sending you guys love to your families. Okay, you guys got this. Bye, babies.